Hi, I thought I'd do a little review video today because something's just arrived at my door. In fact, you can see the cardboard box it came in just behind me there. It's not a ukulele, it's a case. Now I'm going to be doing some travelling to festivals. In a week or so I'm off to Eastbourne. In the new year I'm going to be going up to Carlisle, and I'm also going down to the Forest of Dean. Lots of other gigs where ideally I'd quite like to just jump on a train and go to those gigs. And the problem with that is if you're carrying a case with your, a suitcase, and you're trying to carry an instrument in a hard case, then that can be a bit of a handful, trying to get through train stations and on the tube and things like that, with your ticket, getting through ticket barriers with a hard case and a suitcase, bit of a handful. That said, a lot of people's experiences of gig bags is that they're not very good, they're not very protective. And what I really wanted was a gig bag that was going to be able to go on my shoulder so I can hop on the train, go to gigs, have my hands free and not have to worry about clattering around with a hard case. But I have got some nice ukuleles and I wanted them well protected. So I did a bit of shopping. Now, having looked around at lots of gig bags that are on the market and owning a few gig bags for other instruments, I knew that some of them are very well priced and are okay. They're fine for picking up your uke and taking it down to uke club, but they really were not going to be something I wanted to put an expensive instrument in. An instrument that's got to get there in one piece because I need to be able to perform or run that workshop or whatever. And I started shopping around and somebody had shared a video of a guitar version of this. So I went looking and this is what has just arrived. This is a rather nice looking mono gig bag. This is the Mono M80 and it's a concert size gig bag. And there's a little thing that came wrapped around it when I got it, which says, I'll read it to you, M80 ukulele, concert stroke soprano ukulele case, hybrid outside, headlock inside. And it also says that it's water resistant, has steel riveted handles and an industrial rubber sole. So I'll show you what all of that means. Have a quick look at it. This is what they call a hybrid case. So it is a gig bag. It has got a shoulder strap and the handle there, and it unzips and it's got a pocket and everything. But it does not want to collapse. It does not want to squash. It does not want to bend. And that's because in here it's actually reinforced. So whilst it isn't quite as tough as a true hard case, I would have a great deal of difficulty in squashing my uke unless I were to, jump up and down on it. So let's have a little look round the bag. With a little pocket on the front. It oozes quality. These little zip things here, they're little curved things that fit nicely in your hands. The zips are all very smooth. There's a nice little thing that opens up here, and it's got little things to put a pen in and a tuner in, and a little window where you can put your information, should you want to have that there in case anybody should find it if it gets lost. On the back, we have not rucksack straps, which can be great, but getting a rucksack on and off can be a bit of a nuisance. And then you're carrying around a case that has an awful lot of straps hanging off it. I quite like this. This is a single strap, and it goes across at an angle, but you can change the side just by unclipping this big clip here, like that, and clipping it on this side instead, and then it will angle the other way depending on what shoulder you want to wear it on. So I tend to put that on my right shoulder, so I'll have it angled there. It swings over my shoulder like that, and because of the angle you can see it hangs perfectly straight on my back, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall off as I walk around. Feels rather comfortable, but I can easily just pop it off my shoulder like that. Okay. It's mentioned riveted handles. This handle is a lovely big soft handle. It's stitched into this webbing here. It's got metal rivets. Same here. Same for this strap underneath. Webbing, stitches, and you can probably see there shining, big metal rivet. These D-rings are really solidly attached here. It's all very, very well made. Okay, let's have a look inside. Again, nice zip. Nice smooth zip there, nice things to hold. And I'll open it up for you so you can see what we have inside. There we go. First of all, look how thick these walls are. Ooh, I'm disappearing underneath it. Very, very thick. Nice and soft, but also very sturdy. It doesn't really, even with the lid open, doesn't really want to squash. And inside there, we have, you can see how thick it is from the thickness of the lid here. We have this lovely soft padded material, but we also have a couple of interesting things. One is here and down at the bottom here, we have an extra bit of tougher, smoother material, and that's designed to go over where you might have sharp bits like string ends. If you've got a slot bridge, you might have bits of string popping up there, and on your headstock end, if you've got sharp ends of string, they would pull at this material, but they won't because that's protecting it. And the other thing we have, which I think is really good, and I'm going to put my uke in here now to demonstrate it, is this headlock system. This is what they call it. There's a bit of Velcro on that, and underneath it, a big padded block. And what you do is, if I grab my uke, here's my uke, it goes in the case like that. The neck rests on there, which means my headstock is now in the air. It's not leaning against the back of the bag, which is good. And then I just put that across the fingerboard, across the neck, and it velcros on the other side. And there, my uke is now held completely solidly in there, even with the lid open. And if I lie it down, it's lying down flat with the neck supported so that it is flat. It's not going to tip towards the headstock end, and the headstock isn't touching the back. Now this has got geared pegs on, but on my ukes with rear facing pegs as well. That's great because it lifts the headstock up so there's room for those rear facing pegs. Okay, and I'll then zip up the lid on that, and it's all very secure in there. Now I've got to say I'm very, very impressed with this case. I've always been a hard case fanatic. I wouldn't go to a gig without hard cases. But the more I travel, and the more I'm travelling on public transport, or maybe going on a flight, maybe catching a bus somewhere, maybe just walking. Sometimes you're at a festival and where you're staying is a 20-minute walk away from where you're performing. So much easier just to be able to pop something like this on your back. I should say I bought this after some looking around online and choosing what I thought would be the best thing for the job. It was not given to me, so Mono, I'm not doing this because Mono have asked me to or because any of their dealers have asked me to. This is my own purchase, and I've got to say I'm very, very impressed with it, and I'll certainly be looking at other Mono cases for some of my other instruments. You'll be able to see me walking around with this on my back at a few festivals. I should say how much it costs. Obviously these things are always awkward on videos because I'm in the UK, so I will be telling you the UK price, and you might find that it's cheaper depending on exchange rates or where this is made and where they have warehouses and things like that. But at the time of making this video, which is October 2019, this cost me in the UK £115. Now I can already hear people going, sharp intake of breath, a gig bag, over £100. The thing is, this is what I would call a professional product. Yes, you can get gig bags. I've got gig bags all over the house that cost me 20, 25, 30 pounds. And they're fine to stick in a relatively inexpensive ukulele and take it down to your club. But if I'm going to be touring around with an instrument that cost an awful lot more than this bag, and I need it to be there in one piece ready for me to perform because that's how I earn my living, I wouldn't want to stick it in any old little sort of thin canvas bag. I want it to arrive in one piece, particularly if I'm travelling and it has to go on luggage racks on trains and things like that. I mean, this is not going to get damaged if some other person comes along and tries to squash their bag in front of mine on the luggage rack. It's an excellent bit of kit. I'm very, very impressed with it. And if you are on the lookout for a serious case, but you don't want necessarily to have to lug around a hard case, Mono cases are well worth a look. They come in other sizes, so there's a tenor size one as well, and there are other instruments too. So yeah, go and check them out. I'm very, very impressed with them. See ya.